Welcome back, you guys, and have you heard the news? No, not that. They just announced Super Sitcom Stars, a game featuring some of the best characters from the best sitcoms. We'll finally know who the true champion is, Ross Geller or Roseanne. I'm so excited for this game's release. Sure, this kind of format might be a workaround to creating original stories and characters, but who cares? Fresh Prince has a funny taunt. I can't believe we get to see all these unique characters from similar platforms and media placed in the same game with the same base mechanics, all with unique references to their own series. Well, this one has young Sheldon. Video game series are iconic. Each series has so many diverse elements that combine to create a new universe for players to explore. Game series have so much that set them apart from other series, including characters, level designs, themes, settings, mechanics, stories, and so much more. A good game universe has elements that are iconic, and people can instantly recognize them. The most common iconic element are characters, and some say that the best characters are immediately recognized by their silhouette. Well, if that's true, tell me this. What video game character is this? I still don't know who this is. We're currently at a point where there are so many new and old video game characters that are loved by so many people, and each of them is nothing without their series. The series a character is in has the heaviest impact on how known the character is. If Mario was a character in Genshin Impact, I can assure you Chris Pratt would not be voicing him. Then again, he really shouldn't be voicing him in the first place, but I digress. The video game universes are at their best when each element is equally good. A good combination of level, characters, and music creates a universe that you want to immerse yourself in. Take Mario for example. I say that loud and court. The characters in Mario are undeniably lovable. Everyone has a favorite Mario character, whether you play the game or not. Even my grandma's a huge King Boo fan. The levels in Mario are extremely iconic as well. 1-1 is the infamous video game level, serving as a template for so many 2D video game levels to this day. You also have cave levels, underwater levels, and castle levels from the first game, each accompanied by their own themes that are also completely recognizable by their first few notes. Over time, the themes expanded out as we got desert levels, jungle levels, volcano levels, winter levels, ghost houses, and so much more. Just as Mario has its levels, Sonic has its zones, and GTA has its open worlds. It can be argued that these three styles of levels created the framework for most of the world's level designs today. The same concept applies to movie and TV show universes as well. While they aren't as controllable as games, they're still a universe that are loved by many. I could compare them all, but I'll leave that for Twit longer. I mean, there's just something so special about entertainment universes. The sheer uniqueness and brilliance of them makes me feel all tingly inside. No, wait, that's the Xanax. I believe entertainment universes are something special, which is why I've done something no one else has done before. Communism in video games. No universe is really your own, so in this game, all the universes combine to create one completely new story. I'm redefining the genre, baby. Super Mario Bros. Is the past, and Super Mario, Sonic, God of War, Doom Eternal, Kirby, Zelda Bros. Is the future. Of course, the key to creating any genre-defining product is scouting out the competition. Let's see what we have first. Olimar? Well, it turns out these things have been around for a good while now. It might be time to take a second look at smart toasters. Crossover games are unique in the way that they don't bring any new characters or worlds to video games, aside from a couple new elements here and there. You don't go into these games expecting a whole world of possibilities. No, instead the main expectations of these games are that they represent their original game series well. You hope that the levels are pulled from their original games, you hope that side characters from each universe have some kind of callback, you hope that the characters have moves and personalities that reflect their original characters, and so forth. The main way a crossover game brings in and pleases fans is through representation. Anyone interested in this game is more than likely a fan of one or more of the series represented in the game. That results in the best of these games pushing the majority of their effort into making sure each series is represented right and accurately, placing in as many little references as possible because who doesn't love a good callback? Of course, not every crossover is a complete crossover. Some games choose to incorporate small crossovers, such as a character or level into their already established universe. A great recent example of this is Super Monkey Ball Bananamania. Structurally, it's just another Super Monkey Ball game, but it actually has a lot of crossovers from characters from Sonic, Persona, Yakuza, and other Sega franchises. Hey, what I'd ever wanted to play as a hunk of plastic in a ball? It's everything I've ever wanted! The essence of a good crossover game has been debated for a while. Is it the quality of the crossover itself, or the quality of the game that ultimately decides its popularity? This question is well highlighted in the newly released Snick All-Stars Brawl, a 2D arena fighting game featuring Nickelodeon characters from across the network. At the start, the character looked pretty weak, but over time, more popular characters were added, such as Aang, Cat Dog, and April. These are all huge additions to the main character that continued the hype for this game. Of course, this game faced the controversy of, is this just a Smash Bros. Ripoff? Then the game released, and, well, this image should say it all. This game was way too rushed for its own good. The characters don't have voices, many of the animations look rough and weird, and the game gets dull quickly. The existing items and game modes don't reel anyone in, and above all else, it does not compete with Smash, which is a key factor when Smash has its newest character DLC released at the same time as the game. The game's strength was being a crossover, and a pretty good one at that. But because it wasn't a great game, that meant that the game quickly died down. How could this game have been better? I should start a journal. Do you guys like title screens?
Super Smash Brothers! Yay!
You can stop asking me now. Smash Bros. Is the definitive crossover game. The whole game is built around being a crossover between the worlds of gaming. Our government should try that. Since its beginning, Sakurai has tried to pay homage to every character he brings into the game, through stages, movesets, personalities, items, and render. As with most crossover games, some changes had to be made to the original characters to adapt to the game. Olimar should be getting f***ing squished every time he enters a match. Despite this, Smash is still known as the golden standard for most crossover games, just like Bush is to baked beans, which are not the same as refried beans. Damn it. What separates Smash from most other crossover games is the love and history of this game. Smash has been around since the Nintendo 64, growing from 12 characters to over 80 characters. Not only that, but Sakurai is well known as a man who loves video games as a whole, posting a screenshot of day of his game in action on his Twitter, and each screenshot represents a lot for the series. Sakurai also ensures that the characters most people want enter the game. Throughout Ultimate, we've gotten several of the most requested characters put into the game as base game characters, Mii costumes, and DLC. Smash is a game that defines gaming, and combined with the fact that this game was greatly executed in the game's design and mechanics, this game is the definitive crossover game. As I was writing this video, a leak surfaced showing that a Warner Bros. Universe crossover game like Nick All-Stars Brawl might be coming. The leaked roster looks pretty good so far. I won't show it as to avoid spoiling, however, I do believe there are a couple notable characters that should be added. Warner Bros., in my opinion, has been doing pretty well lately across mostly every front. So this game looks a lot more promising than Nick was. The reason Smash Bros. Does so well as a series is because it combines a good game with a good crossover, and that balance is ever so sweet. Now if we look on the not so sweet side... I said what I said. Don't get me wrong, a PlayStation-themed crossover game is a phenomenal idea, much like many other crossover games. The game overall does really well, but there's something underlying that holds it back. The game is meant to compete with Smash. The roster of this game is huge, placing in some big names from the console's history. However, the execution is a meh. Some stages and moves just feel like there's something missing, and there's some room to improve on this game that could have been so much better if just a bit more effort been placed in this game. Again, I don't hate this game, but it's definitely not up there in terms of how they place characters in one extended universe, and it's a pretty constant thing in crossover games. Marvel vs. Capcom, God what a classic! If you showed Aristotle this image, even he would flip out. From the birth of this game, Marvel vs. Capcom was and still is a defining crossover game throughout history. The roster is great, and as a fighting game, it excels. Aesthetically, the game is perfect. The game has several sequels, with the latest installment being Marvel vs. Capcom Ultimate, which holds up well. The whole series holds up well, really. The originals have to be my favorite. 1 and 2 are classic fighting games that have such a unique style and flair to them. The new ones are fine too, I'm just partial to the older ones as a person. Yes, I've also been arrested twice. Cartoon Network Punch Time Explosion. Now there's a name. I played this game recently and I have to say, this game was decent. There's some good fun to be taken out of this game, and the roster is a great homage to Cartoon Network series, old and new. It does get a little boring over time. Some characters are just not fun to play as, notably Ben 10 and the Powerpuff Girls, and some of the stages are lackluster at best. The game was on the Wii, PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360 as Cartoon Network Punch Time Explosion XO. While on the 3DS, it was just called Cartoon Network Punch Time Explosion, and it bothers me a bit to this day why the XL version of the game is the main version of the game, and the game without the XL is on only one platform. Did someone mention the Door to Darkness? Kingdom Hearts, the series notorious for this reaction.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
My guess is no one's ever liked you before.
What the fuck?
Kingdom Hearts is a game where you play as the main character Sora, venturing through all of the Disney worlds, spanning from Mickey Mouse to Jack Sparrow to Sephiroth. Kingdom Hearts as a series is a masterpiece. The game focuses a lot more on its own plot than the plot of the other movies, which balances out really well, letting the player know that this game isn't just a crossover, it's a crossover plus. I love Kingdom Hearts as a series because, like Smash, the game has a lot of heart. The game is easily a great example of crossover well done, because the crossover doesn't impede on its own plot, and even then the crossover is implemented really well. Lastly we have SpongeBob again? Nicktoons Unite! I will! Nicktoons Unite was part of Nickelodeon's Look What I Can Do era, resulting from SpongeBob's success. Iconic Nickelodeon heroes SpongeBob SquarePants, Danny Phantom, Jimmy Neutron, and Timmy Turner team up to save their worlds. Can they even do that? Nick games have always had a little plot garbage, and this game is no shortage of that. But THQ does a really nice job combining the series. There's a couple spin-offs and sequels and whatever Battle for Bikini Bottom is to Unite, but the game is the best in that line. As for the quality of the crossover, it does well. There's a bit of plot where things get slightly absurd, but that's the signature Nick standard. I'd be upset if it wasn't there. It's not an amazing game by any means, but it still remains a classic. The point I'm trying to make is that we shouldn't get all hyped up over a game just because it's a crossover. Look what happened in Nick All-Stars Brawl. We shouldn't focus on the fact that universes collide, rather how they collide, and if they do it well. And crossover games, like all games, are up in the air until they release. But seriously, imagine Uncle Jesse fighting Chandler, that's gonna be funny.